Welcome to the channel and a video that was not really planned, but the two boxes up here got me looking a little further into how much money we'd actually spent on this car since the project started. And I was a little shocked to find how fast this moves along. So the two boxes up here actually hold the majority, not even all the parts, but the majority of the parts we need to put the chassis back together, which is where we're at with the project right now. But after paying almost $300 for duties and brokerage fees on the last box that arrived, I did it was easy math. These two boxes for these parts cost $3,200 Canadian. By the time you pay exchange and duties and tariffs, shipping, and then there's brokerage fees when you can't send things to a PO box on the other side of the river. So anyways, I made a really bad move and decided to start adding up how much money we've actually put out to build this car so far. And I mean, if you've been following our videos from the beginning, then you've probably seen that there's a lot of the stuff is front loaded already, which I mean, it's good, but I guess I had a number in my head and I was a little ways off the number. As a matter of fact, I was a lot of ways off on the number that it turned out to be as kind of a rough total. And I could tell you, I didn't win a lottery, I didn't rob a bank, and I make an annual wage that's actually under the poverty level here in Canada. So it's not like I got a ton of money to throw away. But being resourceful has always been kind of the way I've been, and that's exactly how this project has been funded and not sent us horribly backwards into debt, because, boy, it's a lot of money. It started off with this car before it got here. The garage only saw my baby anyways. The Can-Am was always parked in the garage here. And lucky enough, we have an enclosed trailer. So the Can-Am went out to the enclosed trailer. The Monterey came in and became the start of the project. At that time, I also had a 69 Camaro drag car that we were in the works of building. We had a 1,000 horsepower engine that was going in the car, and we liquidated that to help start funding the project. We had an 85 Monte Carlo SS clone that was on the go as a restoration, and again, this became priority, and so we liquidated the Monte Carlo. And a lot of things changed. I mean, there was a couple of small blocks in the garage, and at this point now, there's actually no small blocks in the garage. We've got another Ford motor, and there's an extra Pontiac motor in the garage. So a lot of things have changed. Through a couple of decades, I thought I was a rock star, and at the time, I made really good money as a diesel mechanic. So guitars were my thing, and I collected quite a number of guitars. As a matter of fact, I was up to 35 guitars that I owned at the time. And this became more important. I haven't picked up a guitar in over 4 years now, and I liquidated 25 guitars out of the 35 I had. Kept a couple of favorites, but 25 of them also helped give a good cash injection into this project. Some people might think I'm freaking nuts when I write the number down on this panel. Actually, I kind of think I'm nuts, but there's a lot of things that come with a project like this. For one thing, this is a crazy rare car. There is not very many of these around, and that's an appeal. My interests have gone from the 70s and 80s in vehicles to backwards. I've found a new love for the 50s and 60s cars now that I never had before. The time with the boys that we spend in here conquering the challenges of this build, we're rewarded every time that we overcome another obstacle with this car. And It's been a challenge to find parts. It's been a challenge to buy parts. Uh, I guess what it's done is it brought a new lease on life because having goals and having struggles to overcome is definitely a big part of what it takes to see a project through. And I mean, probably should have gave this up a long time ago or even looked to buy a car that was already built because probably when you see the number I'm about to write, it's a much smaller number. As a matter of fact, here's the number my math does right now. That is a pretty big number, actually, and that is not even counting like welding gas and welding wire and the cost of heating the shop through the winter and all the consumables that we go through. There is still probably, I'm going to say there's another 25% more to be spent by the time we buy the top and the carpet, and we still got to buy exterior paint, and there's a number of still has to be bought things. But this is about 75% of the build already done here, at a rough estimate anyways. So you can consider me a fool. I wouldn't even argue with that. It's kind of a crazy thought to think that you could spend this kind of money on. Well, this certainly looks like a $500 car at best right now, but I promise you, our goal is to put together a beautiful car when we're finished, no matter what you want to call it. It should be stunning if we manage to pull off everything that we're after here. And who knows, maybe even next year we'll take the car to SEMA. Because you know what? Dreaming is free, actually. That's the one thing I can say. That's free, so I can dream all day long. So just a bit of a heads up. When you ask a shop why they want $150,000 to $250,000 to restore your car, this kind of explains it, because $47,000 sounds like a ton of money, but that's without wages, because my wages and the boys' wages have not been applied to this car. So just keep that in mind when somebody quotes you and you think they're going off their rockers with the number they give you, because when you take overhead and wages, of course, all the consumables, all the parts, etc., don't be shocked if it costs you $200,000 or $250,000 to have your car restored somewhere. So, thanks for watching. I hope everybody has a great day, and maybe this is some insight for somebody. If it's a crazy rare car, you're going to be spending a lot of money to restore the car. So that's my word of the day. Tomorrow the boys are coming, and we're going to get back to work on the car. So talk to you later.
Neighbors across the street. Oh, fuck me, Russ.
I was gonna say blow it off or sweep it. One of them.
Oh, this needs to be swept, that's all. Yeah, I mean, everything's set